Well, hey, my beautiful friends. Welcome back to the Nancy K. Coy Show, where faith and strategy and purpose meet bold action. I'm Nancy K. Coy. I am your host, and we're having a real talk today. We're going to talk about a heart to heart talk, one that might stir something up in you differently than hopefully has ever been stirred in you before. We're going to talk about something really deep. It may sound like a funny question, but it's reality and it's real. Here's the question we're going to dive into. Are you really an entrepreneur? Not the Instagram definition, not the perfectly created, girl boss version. I mean, you, the woman who you are, the woman who is listening right now. Are you walking in your calling to build, to create, to lead, to do something nobody else has ever done? Because here's the truth, being an entrepreneur isn't just about owning a business, it's a mindset, it's a heart posture, it's a calling. I don't have a lot of pet peeves, but one pet peeve I absolutely do have is when people tell me I'm an entrepreneur. I know I'm an entrepreneur, and they're not. They're a wannapreneur. There's a major, major difference. If God has placed something inside you, an idea, a vision, a burden that you might be carrying that the world needs solved, that's what makes you an entrepreneur. What a lot of people don't realize is that when you're called to be an entrepreneur, it is a calling. And I underline that word. And why do I say that? Because when you're a faith based founder, startup founder, and you have a faith and God is in your heart, He has usually burst something inside you to do something to change the world. And you're the remnant. You have been called to solve a problem that nobody else has been able to solve. And in previous episodes, we've talked about how God put us each on this planet at this time. He could have chosen any other time in history, but He chose right now for you to do something. And if you are truly an entrepreneur, you're going to figure that out. So let's break down what an entrepreneur really is. You see a problem and believe that you're called to solve it. You feel a pull to build something that doesn't exist yet. It's kind of weird. It's like you see something you in your mind and you create it and it just sort of starts to flow. You have a dream and it just won't leave you alone, even when it's scary. I've had that dream. When I started Healthcare Finance Direct, I'm not kidding you. It all came from a dream. And I was like, God, I'm not good enough to do this. But clearly He wanted me to do it. You're willing to say yes to God even when it isn't clear. And a lot of times it's not going to be, right? Sometimes, or He's notorious for giving us enough vision to see right in what's the next step right in front of us. You know you were made for more, and you're willing to take that first step. You know you were called to something bigger, and you just feel it. You can't explain it. You just feel it. So if that sounds familiar to you, and you're not making six figures, you don't have a business plan yet, and maybe you're still working a 9 to 5 job, but every night that spirit of yours just kind of stirs with this idea. It's not random. That's a seed that's been planted inside you. It's a seed that's been planted to get you to do what you were called to do. So let's talk about what stops us. Well, we all have the fear of failure sometimes, right? I just can't do this. I don't have the money to do it right now. Or a lot of times it's family members that just say, you just stay in your real job because they're used to safety. Well, that good old ugly imposter syndrome. We've talked about that. Well, maybe you don't know where to start. Maybe you don't know how to get it off the ground. What do you do? Where do you go? Who do you talk to? Well, comparison to people who look like they have it all together. And let me reassure you that a lot of people look like they have it all together and they don't. And I'm not a big fan of saying fake it till you make it. But reality is sometimes you just got to jump in and don't worry about anybody else. Don't worry about what anybody else thinks. But this is what I can tell you. God doesn't call the qualified. He qualifies those that he calls. He's not asking for you to be perfect. He's not asking for perfection. He's asking for your obedience. And when you think about it that way, it really is sort of a different way to process it, if you will. So how do you know if you're really an entrepreneur? Ask yourself, do I see opportunities where others see problems? It's kind of like the principle of making lemonade, making lemonade out of lemons, right? Do you see an opportunity where other people see roadblocks? I've always sort of been like that. I've always seen what most other people don't see. Do I dream of building something that serves people? Anytime you're an entrepreneur, I believe the most successful businesses are those that help other people and serve other people. When we're doing something to serve those around us, we're bringing light and love into the world. And that's always going to have favor. It's good. It's goodness. Am I willing to take risk for the sake of the purpose? Am I willing to put it all on the line? And there's so much sacrifice when you decide to be an entrepreneur and you decide to change the world, or you have an idea that is going to potentially change the world. Do I feel led, not just inspired, but led by God? Something. Again, it's something deep inside you, and you can't let it go. If you answered yes, girl, welcome to the journey. You don't need a title. You don't need to ask for permission. You just need to trust the one who gave you the idea in the first place. You're the remnant. If God inspired this in you, you are the one that was called to carry it out. So just do it. So here's your invitation. Number one, you're never, ever, ever designed to do this entrepreneurial journey by yourself. I have a program that I put together. It's free. It's for women all over the world that are entrepreneurs, startup founders, those that want to be, those that are even married to a startup founder, because it's interesting when you're married to a startup founder, you find yourself, it's almost like being married to a pastor. A lot of times you just kind of get pushed to the side a lot because of the entrepreneurial journey. I mean, when you're married to an entrepreneur, a lot of things get pushed off to the side, right? Because God has empowered you to do something great and you're solving a huge problem. And that means with great power comes great responsibility and a lot of time and energy that's going to go into the venture. So we started Her Kingdom Ventures through Cated Global. We're a community of women founders, dreamers, builders, obviously believers, and those that want to be coming together to grow in our faith and in business. And we network together, we support each other, we encourage each other. And I'm just so excited about where this is going to go. It's just amazing to be involved with a group of amazing women all over the globe who are networking and helping one another to take this God-inspired idea to a new level. And it's just super, super fun. We meet twice a month. We actually meet the second and fourth Tuesday of the month by Zoom. Feel free to bring your lunch or a beverage, whatever. We don't care. Just be the authentic you and come and join us. Sit in and be a part of what God is equipping us to do. We will help mentor you. We'll help support you in your journey. Again, you don't have to do this alone. We're here to help you. So if today's episode stirred something in you, reach out. and come. This is your invitation. You have been invited to the table. This is your seat. And please, please, please share this information with other women. If you know a woman who is thinking about starting a business or already has a business, and maybe she could use connection, or she could use some support. Um, she just needs to be surrounded by other awesome women. Please, please, please share this with her. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a review, because it really helps other women find their voice and their calling with this. One of our biggest goals this year is to move the needle from 3 to 5% in the VC world for funding. 3% of women get funded. 3%. We're trying to move that number to 5%. And we're going to do this by just helping one another and growing together and supporting each other and sharing this information. So until next time, keep believing, keep building, and stay rooted in your faith. You are called, you are capable, and you're never alone. Thank you again for joining in. I'll look forward to talking to you next time. Bye for now.